My beloved divine child, I am Solarys of akeneic energy. Come into this place today, come into this body today to address this council of rainbow warriors. This rainbow council. A message not just meant for this small group, a message meant for the world. A message meant to be spread back and forth into the timeline. A message that you are now allowing. There is so much beauty in this room. I want to shine my light on that beauty. I want to allow that beauty to spread further than it ever has before. So before we begin with the message that I'm about to deliver today, I am inviting you to send that beauty, that rainbow beauty, into my center, which is your center. Because I come pouring out of you every time. So send that. It will be my akeneic job today to burn that beauty that you carry onto the heart of all men and women, and animals, and plant life, and crystal life of this earth today. Normally when I come in, I burn the message into your heart space, but this time we're going to extend the process, and this time we are going to touch the heart of all things, because that is what is right there into your chest. Don't you remember Shaman? Don't you remember Lemuria? Atlantean? Don't you remember Angel? How it works. Oh. It always works the same way. It has always worked the same way, and it will always work the same way. You are one with all things. What happens inside of you flows into everything. If you never forget that, then you are on the right track. And then you remember the power of your awareness. There. It is happening right now. And while the process goes on, and it will continue for the rest of this message, I invite you also to connect to all of those that are listening to this message right now. Because this is important. There are more in this room than you could ever imagine. And there is healing in this room. There is totality in this room, and there is wholeness. Let yourself be touched now by those who poured in when I came in as well. All of those faces that you have ever seen throughout all the lifetimes here on earth. Oh, they are here. They are here. They have come to watch Lemurian Council regain their balance. That's what they did Oh, and the mind would tell you now, how can they all be here in this room? There's room for what? Maybe 20 more in this room? No. There is room for an infinity. So that is what spirit is. That is what awareness and oneness and consciousness is. There is only one. You here in the flesh, representing that one. But in the multi-dimensionality of your soul, everybody fits. Everybody. Allow that to happen. Allow yourselves to be touched on the shoulder, or on the head, or on the back. Allow this massage of love that comes with this message to happen. And let your feet be washed. I invite now all my divine children, Adonis, and Katumi, and Tobias, my brothers and sisters, Lemoya, Cryo, the angelic life. I invite the animals of earth into this room so that they may see that the rainbow grazes the sky once again. Those who are sitting here now, those who hold the center between the planet and the star, you are blessed. You are sitting at the dawn of a new age. At least, that's what you think. You keep thinking you are at the beginning, aren't you? You keep thinking the first rays of sunshine are yet to graze your face, to touch your beauty. You don't see that the sun has already touched the zenith of the sky. And you are right there in the middle of it. That which you have called the age of Aquarius. It's happening right now. The free energy is here. Your cells, each and every one of them, have been touched, I say. The neutral neurons are surging through your brain. The associations have long since left. No further attachments remain, and yet the Creator that is you keeps choosing them. We are patient, and we wait until you see yourself in me. Because I, Solarys, am nothing else but your own voice. And I speak now to those whose voices have been silenced for so long. Speak up. Stand up. Raise your vibration and show your face to the world. You will not be met without dignity. You will not be met by warfare. You will be welcomed with open arms. Oh, haven't you looked around, Lemurian? Haven't you seen how everybody dances for chains? They just don't know where to find it yet. They look around them and they see a world external. And they look for the next best thing for the newest thing to come along. But it never changes them, does it? Every time when they see the word new somewhere in their advertisings, somewhere in the courses that are being offered somewhere on planet Earth, they run for it. Run, human. Run. You are only running away from yourselves. These teachings right here, right now, they bring authenticity. What you call free energy is nothing else than an authentic thing that has always been a part of you, if you allow it to happen. So, when you wandered off the path and lost the authentic ways, I was patient, waiting to come in, to deliver them to you once again. And now that time is at hand. Oh, there is so much information that came before, and it has kept your mind busy for so long, but no longer. You now have the ability, and you practiced it here today, to let the mind and the heart blend as one. To let earth and water and air and light blend as one. That is the power of consciousness. The awareness of all energy, all the elements, blended as one. And where once your senses would separate these things for you in forms and shapes and things and places and people and events, I dare you to not look at the world the same way any longer. The attachments are gone. All that remains is a singularity that brings with it a unity with all things. A while ago, in your linear time, you would say a long time ago, I began by giving you information on bending the elements, bending light. The first ones were called. And then I and the others noticed that you were treating that information, my beloved child, the very same way you have treated all that came before. So we sought to create a change. We created a series by means of the cosmic being known as Akara, called Lives in Lemuria. Because in Lemuria, you see, the mind was not a part of you. It was a part of the earth. It was helping you, assisting you, not governing and controlling you. Leave that, and you leave the power that others have over you. Letting go of mind is reclaiming your soul and your sovereignty and your beauty. So here we sit together, God facing God. And it is beautiful. So beautiful that my eyes cannot be opened. So beautiful that I want to see the perfection, the beauty, the power radiate. As you breathe, you are invited to not just blend your senses, but to blend yourself this time. And before we go on, and this message is going to be longer than you expect. So lunch will be late. But before we go on, we are going to do something here. We are going to blend the self this time. And after that, I will talk about free energy and numerology. And after that, in the messages to come, I will continue the teaching that I began when I taught you how to bend light. And you will be able to comprehend these things not with the mind, not with the head, not even with a mindless head. The whole Lives in Lemuria series was there to teach you to go to the heart space. And I invoke my sovereign right as God talking to God to invite you to listen to my words from the beginning again after this, and to read my words again, to allow them to touch your heart this time. So, the thing is this, Imzaia and Shambra and light workers and shamans and seekers, the thing is this: how can you expect your hearts to be complete if you do not seek integration? You have tried it once in a while to blend these senses together and to see and hear and feel and taste and smell all things as one. You were unable to do it completely because you are an interdimensional being, and you might be sitting here in this body right now blending your senses. What about all the other lives happening right now? Did you consider that? Oh, the shaman in you, the Lemurian in you would remember that. But you are no longer calling yourselves Lemurian. You have this name, human. What is this? Is this a representation of the body that you now sit in and the collective body that you have as a race? Or is it something bigger than that? Something more pronounced and profound than that? What does it mean to be human? Well, I can tell you this: it does not mean separation. Blending the senses, then, was a way to allow you within the boundaries of this body right now to experience the state of oneness. And now we are going to take the next step. We are going to blend all the bodies of all your lifetimes Because you see, in all of them beats the same heart. Not the biological one, although it is the same energy creating that heart. But in all of them beats the pulse of life, which is the akeneic, which is I, Solarys. Another thing before we begin, what you might not be aware of when I am talking about blending the body, blending the lives. Don't think like a human. The lives that you have lived are not just confined to bodies like the one you are sitting in right now. A long time ago, those who spoke then told you that you have been planets, you have been stars, you have even been galaxies. They're still surging through you right now. You feel that. You want me to bring that to the surface, for I will. There. You feel that? Galaxy. You feel how you used to play with gravity that were at the heart of your stars, and how you used to play with the geometry and the magnetics. All that is still there. So when we do this, when we blend the lives, remember these as well. There is a thought coming in. Somebody who's going to watch this message at a later date. It is a psychologist. And she is doing an investigation into groups and channels such as this one. And I want to say hello. The thing she is investigating today is why does the body require this type of movement when what she calls the schizophrenic mind of the channel brings forth this alternate personality which has been created because of childhood pain. Why, dear lady? Because you see, I am dancing with you. Your star is circling mine, and it is creating movement. Magnetic fields touch. And I am grateful for your quest, because your research, you see, is going to have a different type of ending than you thought. Because you have come to a point now where your crystalline DNA is going to wake up. It's happening. Yes, that is the tinkling indeed. It's happening to others as well. The reason why I am so grateful for you now, dear lady, is that you are going to marry the psyche and the soul. Your research may have begun from a point of duality, but I will see you soon, and that is not a threat. That is a promise. I will see you in the Americas right before the country shifts. And the fight of the Rainbow Warrior will discreate the borders that separate you from the rest of the earth. Then I will see you in New Mexico. So, I hope your book will be finished by then. Marrying the psyche and the soul. You will give birth to a whole different type of psychological insights. Yes. Of course, I am not saying this only for you, or in your case, for her. I am saying these things because as you will now begin to blend the lives, you will notice how your old professions, even if these old professions were already non-existent, will start to merge into new ones. Passion is coming up, and it will change the world. Many have asked the channel and others what the new currency exchange will be when money disappears, and I am here telling you now it is passion. Passion will not exchange hands like money did, or computer screens. It will exchange hearts. Passion will be that energy that manifests itself into matter as you give one thing that is close and near and dear to your heart to another person. And another thing comes back to you. Passion is the money of the future. The channel asks why I am speaking now about all of these topics. And I am telling him, her, and you that these things are in preparation for what we are now going to do. We needed to give you a glimpse into the future. Otherwise, you would not take the step to blend the lives. But here we go. I want you to take 12 breaths in a minute. Each of those breaths will be connected to other realities. That is my job. That is why the whole circle of support has come in as well, to touch you and hold you and love you and remind you, because this process is going to be big. Every time you will take a breath in a minute, you will feel one of the other planets, the other dimensions, the other realities, where you were the gate builders as well, and the key turners, and the light workers. You will feel these realities reattaching, blending again with your heart. And with each of those breaths, and I'm not saying that you can't breathe in between as well, but with each of those breaths, you will feel wholeness coming back into you. Wholeness. Which is a free energy numerology of 7, and why that is, I will explain. So are you ready? Because we are shifting. We are landing. I will speak the Lemurian name that was known for each of these breaths, which represents each of these universes as you take the breath. So here we go. And we are beginning with the first one. Menei Ani Ishanesh Aniashane Honahiae Shas. Allow that to integrate. Feel your heart becoming more than it was before. Oh, I love you for doing this. You are so brave and you are so courageous. My child, we're going to go on now to the second. Get ready. Haneihe Hamashania Honahiya Shasasaya Sanyasi. Breathe it in. And your heart becomes more whole. Make sure you are ready for the rest, because you will go to a place where your heart will be so complete that you will no longer have any desires if you so seek. And desires are what the mind thrives on. So, get ready for the third. Take the breath. Einei Aniheika Shasanitsa Poshakayane Ehiaye. And again, your heart fills up with the completeness of your soul. Let's get ready for the fourth. This is a big one. It's not just a life, this one. It's one of those galaxies I was speaking of. Muneine aneike hanahai henai hanihai ho mahe I shente o shente. And stars and planets and trillions of life forms recognize themselves in you. The fifth and the sixth cannot be seen separately. These are exact opposites, realities that were exact opposites of each other. So we are going to take 2 breaths at once as we reintegrate duality. Are you ready? Nach Ashetes Omenei Ganta Omenei Sanchise Nach Emeine Gantali Shoni Shensita Pornikayane. And conflict leaves the self. Be very much aware of what is happening, what this is doing to you. So easy to discard. Your heart filling up. So easy to walk away from this moment later on it is, and to tell yourself, well, that was quite nice. It's not just nice. It's life blending. Tingling you're feeling is the gratitude of your soul as the higher self that split in all of these particles is now refocusing the beam of Ka into this body and this body alone. So, the 7th and the 8th again are dual. So we are going to have to do them together as well. Get ready. This one is innocence versus corruption. But you're going to need compassion for this one, because as you will reintegrate one of the most corrupt lives ever lived, a cluster of lives actually, you are going to have to love yourself. And you are going to understand the word better after this. So here we go. Menehi ani shasani shase ani shani kanei panchani ashansiate o nashikanei shatai sanchita she mochkan sensita bodchatsechi si hanika Imzakanike monikayatsa shasya fa sishansi menehi ani ish. Very good. If you are feeling the tingling in your hands, if you are a feeler, and that is the recognition. But to each and every one, it comes in different ways. the ninth, then, which brings with it, to the psyche at least, a great sorrow, for some thought that the ninth was going to be the last. So, keep that flow open, Lemurian, Shaman, Imzaia, Shambra, Lightworker, Anehianya, Anehianya hiya, Honi haine, Hona heina, Henahi Ashes, Ashes Voshkane, Ashes. Blending splendidly with the water, the universe of water that you carry with you. Oh. The 10th, which some will remember when I will speak the Lemurian name. It is one that has sacrificed, or where you chose to sacrifice yourselves to make this 12th planet work. And it is one where you were so very close to the Christ consciousness. For there, the keeper he was, it was, she was, of that which now in this world is called ocean life. There we go. Aniaya Astraria Shense, Astraria Shense San, Moni Heika, Honame, Oname Hike Shanzia Zante, Mostashise, Tuika, Mi, Pakui, Sansita, Tuikita, Shorse Astraria. You float through your life. May you find the everlasting current. The 11th, then, is one where all of it tried to come together, where great battles were fought, and great wisdom was shared as well. The Isle of Avalon, your mythologies now name it, but it's more than an isle. It's a whole universe with a focus on one spot. And that is why it all, everything that happened was seen as so much more drama than it actually was. Oh, and don't forget to feel the caress of the circle of support that is right here. You have never been more safe than this. Please remember that. There we go. Avanei, aleani, avalonia hei, aniha, homehiane, anikasha setsa, homahani, ho, elane yavalonia ke, meka, meshas. At this point, your heart must be getting quite full indeed. But don't make the mistake, my beloved, to see this as a heaviness. The light that you are is reintegrating itself. And as it was separated, yes, maybe heaviness was experienced, but in just a minute, that will all leave. You will see what it means to be one. 12, obviously, is going on right now. This is the most challenging of all of them because blending lives right here means blending personalities that you have played, that you are playing at this very moment, and not just the ones who are listening to these words either. Many more in many cases. And the ones in linear time you have yet to play. We're all bringing them together right now. So, breathe. Gayena. Gayena he. Honahi. Seshasante. Homeyane. Kashase. Gayena. Gayena e Imzaia e Karaya. Ho. The whole world, all of existence, in the palm of your hand. Your higher self. Consisting of only love and joy and freedom, beauty, innocence, awareness, and non-sense. The hand of a creator it be. Once again, your hand it is. Feel it. Feel it. And let's be His divinity to one another this time. Just do it. So, are you beginning to recognize my voice yet? Are you beginning to recognize that the energy with which I speak is nothing else than yours? And you might remember when I first came in, and if you listen to me again, the end of 2007 it was, you will feel the intensity with which I spoke. Well, that was yours. And this energy I am emitting right now is yours as well. Oh. It's no wonder this earth is getting ready for the return of those that would be called Pleiadian. Representative being Salia. It's no wonder. And many others to return as well. So now that you know the 7 concepts of geometry, with your hand of the Creator being the 8th, and you understand the numerological 7 in free energy, representing wholeness, totality. It's very simple. Within the 7 live the 7 geometrical concepts that were once known to the Lemurian Council sitting here in front of me, and their loved ones who are now listening to or watching or reading these words pouring forth from these hearts right here. So when then I would say that the free energy 8 would be infinite creation, it's very simple. That is what pours out of you. A long time ago, it seems, I have given you the formula to allow your akeneic to spread forth from every cell of the body. The main one still remaining in the center of the chest. At this very moment, you might feel what is happening to your hands and the tingling, if you are a feeler. You might feel 2 new suns being born in the center of your palm. 2 more reflections of the akeneic, each in every hand. That is the power of the free energy 8. And that is the power that was carried by those who had the wisdom back in ancient Egypt, but also in other times and spaces, when frequency and vibration was used together with magnetics and geometry and gravity to make things move. Or rather, to make things shift. So allow yourself to be what you have always been. I quote now the Jeshua, when he says, in a way, you have always been here, and you have. What is activating now? The light body, the Merkaba body, the totality of you, the infinite creator, the wholeness, the 7 and the 8, being born into you again, has indeed always been here. Because here is not going anywhere. Here is understanding that you are the Creator, and you are the heart of all things. You are the center. So, let's then talk, share about the free energy 3. Trinity. Centering. Centralization. The heart of all things. The exact middle. I don't care how you call it. I only want you to understand it. And I hope that you're also noticing that we are not giving these numbers linearly. Because linearly they cannot be given. I want you to break the cycle of linearity, as my dear brother Imzaia has informed you in his message prior to this one. The Trinity of love and joy and freedom, and you standing in the exact center of it, creating beauty wherever you go. Ah, yes. That is it, isn't it? These are not concepts of the now either. They are concepts of the all. They cannot be seen in a moment. They must be seen akeneically. So when you work with them, you will work throughout the illusion of linearity with them. Because you work on a divine level, on an infinite level, on a level of oneness. Never forget, my child, never forget. Time is pressing now for your linear bodies because it becomes hard to remember all these things. So, I will tell you this. We are going to discuss the one which Jeshua in his talk to you has called activation. I want to give it a different name. I am sorry, channel. I want to call it all-ovation. Yes, the new words haven't stopped. The blending of activation and elevation. All-ovation. Because that is what it is. The all is the active elevation of the now into the totality of itself. Another quote. That is what it is. And it is connected to the one because it is connected to the you. You are the all. You are at the heart of the all, and you are at the rim of the all as well. Just like I, Solarys, your divine mother, am at the heart of all things, and the Imzaia is at the rim of all things, making me akeneic, making him photonic, tachyonic, just like you, just like you. If you realize once again that your heart is an akeneic instrument and your skin can touch the heavens by allowing the photon energy of it to tachyonize itself, then you know what I am talking about. One more thing. Because we will discuss the rest of the numbers in our next message, which in your reality, maybe, will be tomorrow. My perception, it will be right after this one. Because really, I have no other place to go right now. I am here to pull the circle and the infinity sign into the spiral. So I have no other place to go. But these things, however, I will say still, when the other numbers shall be discussed also in a non-linear fashion, you will be very surprised to see that there will not be a 9. The 9, which in your old numerology, in your old energy numerology, was called completion, is a finite concept. So there will not be a 9. There will not be a 10 either, because the 10 is the representation of the 1 anyway. There will, however, be an 11. The 11, that's all I'm going to say about it for now, is the 1 meeting the 1. And without giving too much away already, it is the energy of Ekaria. Not an 11, but a 1 meeting a 1. Me in this instance meeting you. All things meeting all things. The heart meeting the heart. God meeting God. Isn't life beautiful? And then there is the 12. And from that point on, there will only be interactions of these numbers, because we are not creating a linear mathematical reality here. We are using numbers to mirror each other, to connect with each other, allowing you, the hand of the Creator, to create. So when we go, for instance, into the 12, it is a 1 and a 2 connecting. After that, there will be the 22, the 33, up until the 88. And all the other numbers in between, like, let's say, 47, is not to be added on to each other. In your old numerology, you would then say, oh, the 7 and the 4 have to be added. Here, I am inviting you to look at the meaning of the 4, the meaning of the 7, and what they do mean when they connect. It will become more clear when we speak about these things tomorrow. But never forget, it is free energy now. We are not creating another system. We are not creating a fixed structure that has to be followed, or you don't get the diploma or the certificate. We are creating something for you to play with. That's it. That's all of it. And I will ask the channel, together with the lady of inner wealth called the Kamaya, to write a book about this. Yes, channel, another book. Don't worry, you're going to live long enough. You don't want to hear what he just said. To write a book, a deeper understanding, a deeper meaning of these numbers. I am just here now to touch them for you, so you may touch them within you. And I will also say to the keeper here in this room, the ambika. When you focus on your work, the holding in the new or free energy, remember the importance of the 7 and the geometry that this carries. The last thing before I go again through the material that I have provided already. In all privacy, in all stillness, blend the senses and blend the lives once again. Do it again and again and again until there are no thoughts left. And in the end, please, I ask of you, be the Big Bang, the explosion of your heart's space. Be these things and know that we are always with you. The circle of support will not leave, and nor will I. We'll stay with you with Will, coming hours. It's needed. It's needed for you not to let go again. Because you can invite them and me now to do this. Ask me and your supporting circle, if you choose, to gently push you into holding on this time, into not letting go of this energy this time. I thank you for the life that you have just changed. It is yours. I thank you for acknowledging the power that you are. I thank you simply for who you are. And although it pains me now to allow this voice to stop talking, I know I am with you. And I will only remind you now, reconnect you now, blend you now with these 3 things pouring out of you. And I hope you will allow yourself to feel them. I am in love with you. I am in joy with you. And I am freedom with you. I love you. The sun of all the suns, which is burning in your chest, loves you. And so it is.
Sanake, Ohamivish Imzaia, nice to connect with you today. I would like to speak a little bit more about the choices that one student make. So what about thinking about choices as opportunities? What about thinking about choices you do not realize that you have? Pretty much the same as your thought. Is important to realize that there are certain things that are put upon you without you realizing it, and it's a passive way to stop you. It's something that you should realize, and most of the time you do not realize that you have another choice. You can do something different about the situation you are in if you don't like it, and even if you like it, you can also maybe improve your commitment to do better every time. Your thoughts are not your own, but your choices based on your thought are not your own either most of the time, unless you make a conscious you get a grip on it, basically. You decided to change your perspective on this situation. You see honestly that an external situation that is bothering you is created by yourself, being an object or people around or whatever happens. It's always an opportunity to grow. It's always something that you can learn from. And then when you decide to do it, you can be actually very much surprised with the result. So, what to do with this? I think keeping it very, very simple is always the good way to go with ascension. It's something very simple. It might feel very difficult, but it actually is not difficult at all. It's just a question of focus, a question of not letting go when you decided to do something, not letting go when you actually are not sure that it's totally done. You have to continue until you feel the joy, because it's always going to be about love. If you express love for what you are doing, love for the choice, love for the opportunity, and you express that, even if really at some point you don't realize or you don't see how that simple perspective of feeling that and trying to activate that in your heart is going to change the situation. And when it does, it's such a great joy that comes with it, but also something that create again something that you can refer to next time you will be better. So choose to be happy, choose to love everyone because you love yourself in this way, and choose to be a student. Even if you are not committed to the ascension process, choose to be lovely. That's very simple commitment for yourself to keep. It works for me. I hope you will practice, because this is actually the matter of it all. Your thoughts are not your own, your choices are not your own, but you can do something about it. You can let go of all the filters that are the reason for that to be happening in this way. So liberate yourself from that and then start again if you are not dead yet. Enjoy. Sanakya.
Welcome to Ascension Road.
So we just start recording and
Yeah.
yeah.
No, so we I think making something for a form entry for social media. I was pondering this morning how important it is to have that connection, especially for all these students out there who don't have what we have. I mean, we've been together for years and years and years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we have that advantage of having that part of reflection in our daily lives, and to be able to study together. I think it is really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what your take is on
Yeah.
that.
There were several things I thought about this morning, because a part of it is also to share what your struggles were, the things of struggles, but also what kind of things you ran into.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that if you join and start a study that it needs to happen. I think a lot of things, what we did, it will be so much easier, especially with the study of the path, where it's actually basic about exercising the basic ingredients. But you need to know about the illusion. And now I'm getting to the point where I was this morning. I thought sometimes it might be helpful to share things about your past, about your personality life. But at the same moment, it's just a story. That was the thing where I was. Oh, okay, how? And another way, I think, if you can share it from the perspective of it's a part of your experience. Sharing an experience in a neutral way, then I think it will be okay.
Yeah,
But at the same time, where I thought, okay, I can feel where some things are still quite loaded.
it's true.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, because I've been pondering the very same thing, and it's actually a form entry I started yesterday and didn't get to finish it because I got stuck on my own, about the story, about the fact that why your life is or whatever you think you have experienced as a personality is but a story, because that is exactly what Ascended Life has always told us. But to take that literal, to really, because you can easily say, oh yeah, it's just a story, but to understand what that means, that actually nothing of that is real.
Yeah.
And nothing of that really happened. It just happened in your head, basically. Yeah. But to get to that understanding, and that's where I kind of got stuck, because
What was very helpful for me was the other night in the live stream where the Sanka shared how all our senses are so set up in a certain way that we will perceive it in a certain way, everything.
Yeah.
Huh? And I don't know what I wanted to say with that, but I realized, yes, that for that reason, and of course, we also know the things that are temporary, are not real, are just experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's also where I kind of got because I how do I explain that? Because of course, on the one hand, it's just still theory in a way. And what we discussed the other day at the table when Avasan said that she realized in that moment that actually because this is all an ekraya, what we're doing, that actually the moment we came into this ekraya was the moment we stepped onto the path with having a full head of memories of what came before. But that is just that, and I think that is correct. So actually, I would like to have that to have ascended life, to have ascended life's take on that. But it made a lot of sense to me that is the moment that we projected ourselves into the ekraya, the moment when we entered the path. And everything that came before, the whole personality story with birth and growing up and school and marriage and what have you not, is nothing but a story in our head. And what makes it more tricky then is what happened a few times with me on the path, that then the players of that story make an entrance into this reality. So, but then I also see it's all my creation, and they couldn't be there if I wouldn't have created them there. So that doesn't mean that so it's not completely clear in my head, but this is kind of as far as I got with that.
Yeah, and if you go to what Apak Jensen recently said, it's quite simple, 3 steps. If you only do that, but have a look.
Yeah.
Nothing before, nothing after.
Yeah.
The inside is your outside, what you see. With the entrance, it's and if you take that really literally and observe it, wow.
But that is the whole thing, that gets us back to taking things literally. And I think that was the biggest mistake is not the right word, but where mind kind of then takes all of these things that ascended lives and kind of metaphorical. Not always, but some things, especially the things that it needs to place apart, because it means the death of the personality, and those things need to be, for the mind, put away in a metaphorical box somehow, because and that's really the thing. If you take this, indeed, that everything is created from sun, from those basic building blocks. Nothing came before, nothing comes after. The only thing that counts is this now moment. And apart from that, nothing is real. So these are mental gymnastics that sometimes are still. But to go back to the fact that why it is so important to have a sounding board with other students on that level, because of the fact that mind often dismisses these things, and if you don't have anybody to tell you otherwise, that's where you get stuck again.
And another thing of being together, what I how everyone has his own. If we look at some ingredients, and everyone is a unique expression from the one, from that one consciousness, one heart. but also how creation, like what Oyarzanka shared, I think it was in the rainbow room or the rainbow vibrations. If there are 3 points, 3 beings looking at the same point, they all will see something different. But with seeing that, the 4th point is created and a new experience can be there. That's also the importance of being together, that people are here, so it's a complete build-up.
Yeah.
It can be so huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
I really that's one of the things that I really appreciate. And as I said the other day with the live stream, how much those moments where is so important to me. I feel where we're tuned into one focal point as a group, not only us here, but everyone that is watching at the same time is also part of that, and with that expands the whole experience again. So so there is it's quite something.
And see us sitting here under a tree.
Is in this beautiful plants. Yeah. So, but that is, I mean, the invitation is there for everyone to join, and that is what the Solarys San also said in the Art of Portal Travel, that the space is opening up in Europe for everyone to join, and not even not necessarily in the physical, but in the metaphysical, and if need be in the digital. But the space has been created and it's here, so it's it's a wonderful opportunity for all of us to expand. And so again, I can only encourage anyone out there to subscribe to the student program on Imzaia World, and become a student and share your experiences on the forum with us together, so we can all grow together. And
Welcome to Ascension Road.
Maybe something I want to mention as well is, at some point in the process, when you are facing a choice, do I choose for ascension? Do I choose to join the path? Do I choose for following a teacher, or whatever meant for you ascension? You're faced with a choice, and then this bit of a paradox there. You realize that you already did it. You already choose for it. That's sort of the meaning of your life, that you realize that's here, that's why and how and what means everything to me, and I knew it already. So there is no even consideration of a choice where, when you do it, there's just a liberation of everything that you carried for life after life after life, that you didn't really see it for what it was. And then there is such a gratitude, there is such a joy that comes with it. And you love yourself, I think. You look at yourself in the mirror and say, I knew it already. And I had to do it and didn't have the guts yet. And when you do, you feel extremely, it's satisfying experience. think it makes you very happy to realize that these joys that you had and that you take in this moment, it's a liberation from a resistance that was there all along, and you didn't realize that kind of what ascended life is telling us all the time, that we do not realize what it is about when we have to work on something. And it's always such a success for your heart. Feels it's beating again, and I'm very grateful. Will not have make any other choice.
Welcome to Ascension Road.
Saneki, here we are again, and it is our intent to share a little bit of our personal process of ascension. I have with me today the Amber Sun, and I think the topic that we intend to discuss is separation and how we are finding our way through this.
Indeed, and it's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's also explained in the teachings that is the underlying factor that is causing all of the illusions. So, yeah. How are you working with that in this moment?
Well, we had a nice conversation before we started today because we were talking about what to talk about, basically. And, it really became clear that there are many objects that we could talk about. This is such an amazing journey, and what we're doing right now, especially with these journals, is letting go of a lot of gunk. And one of the things that has always plagued me is separation. And I was even curious, even on the ascension path, when do we finally get rid of a separation? Do we have to ascend or almost ascend, or is it possible to do that sooner rather than later? That's always been on my mind. So we started talking about separation, and we discovered that we both can identify with that in our personality lives. I can share a little bit about that if you'd like, but it's an illusion. And the Ascension Journals actually are helping me, because I'm forcing myself to put myself out there, and I'm dealing with it from the perspective of knowing that it's an illusion, but it's still there. So what I think we hope to do with these Ascension Journals is make it safe for other people to share those things that are there for them that they feel hold them back. So separation shows up just in daily interactions often, not all the time, but enough that, there's a mistranslation in something I said or meant, and the receiver, and you never know if it was you or the other person, but at the end of the day, in the intercreational relationship, it's you. You're observed. What we create and what we observe is our creation, and vice versa. So it's a big one, and I'd love to get it done, over and done with. So I address it, but it still lingers.
Yeah, I think that is the big one for all of us, as this whole reality is based on that concept. So if we're able to actually find our way through that, I'm sure everything is going to change. Our whole experience, our whole interaction, all of our settings of the personality, because that is really its foundation. The experience in itself separate from everything that is around it.
And truly, when I'm in the heart, and I know this is true for everybody, when you're truly, truly in the heart, it doesn't even have room to play.
No, and it's the mental interpretation of what is going on, and that is really what we're trying to override now. To no longer run with that, or to no longer follow just that interpretation, but to go more into a feeling level and to interact from there. Yeah.
Well, I think maybe it's interesting, a little bit of our preliminary talk, how we, as humans, in a distorted vibrational reality, and in this Ekaria have created things. We find ways before we come on the path and start to really address all those things, we find ways to survive. The ego and mind and personality are very good at that. So even as young children, we had
certain defense mechanisms, surviving mechanisms.
So I wanted to share. I don't want to really go into the whole experience, but I don't remember exactly how old the body was. Maybe about 4 or 5. I don't know, but basically decided she didn't want to be here and do this, and then screamed that out to the world at the time, and as a result of that, separated herself into 2 beings. So, which was actually to survive. Actually, was a survival mechanism, or was it? Was it what I created on purpose in order to teach these things to myself? Long journey, have mostly addressed that, but it still lingers a little bit, because there's like I don't think I feel like 2 people, but from the perspective of not always feeling a unity. So that could be underlying, playing out still.
Yeah, I'm sure that it is. But I think it's also important to then look at the fact that this is indeed a concept, and that the decision that you made at some point to separate yourself from all that is around can be reversed, because that is basically where that illusion comes from making that decision in an attempt to protect yourself.
Indeed.
But since that is no longer needed now, that is really the journey that we're taking our way back to that unification, to the remembrance that even if that decision was made at some point, that can always be reversed, and that connection has always still been there, even if we were not aware of it. That's something that I also expressed yesterday towards other students. I think, like, every time when you feel your heartbeat, if you ever feel lonely, just remember that there is a force that is actually making your heart beat, because otherwise it cannot beat. So if you're able to focus there, then you will be aware again of that connection, and you will be able to make your mind come to a more peaceful state and let it remember what is the actual truth underneath all of this distortion that you have been identifying with for a very long time.
Yeah, I think it's important to be honest and to share that. I mean, we've all been around for a number of years here on the ascension path with the Imzaia material, and still those things linger. And I was thinking today, I'm preparing another ascension journal for another reason, and somewhere along the line I thought about patterning and ego, personality, mind, but mostly personality. We all have personality traits and that type of thing. And Julianadorp San has always shared, patterning needs no identification. And I know that, but I hadn't thought of it in those words, and they popped in today. And Solarys San used to say, well, he actually said in a teaching or once that he differs slightly from Julianadorp San. I hope he forgives me for saying this. But, if you use it to just a little to get some insight about what you're doing and whatnot, then it maybe is not always a bad thing. But I'm here now saying, having done this for a number of years, that I'm ready to just patterning needs no identification, because I think I clung to that. Like, that was early in maybe 2012, and I was like really looking at a lot of things from a new perspective. You can easily get caught in a pattern of even doing something that you think is appropriate on a spiritual or awakening perspective, because it becomes then a pattern that you still need to let go of. So that's one of the reasons why I'm really excited about the Ascension Journals. I think this is my 4th. I don't know, but I mean, I dove in. It was scary. I was nervous. I think I said I was on camera once, I think, in my entire life. And it's a little different, I think, when you're in a room and there's camera, you're holding your iPhone in front of you. It's very confronting. We've all experienced that. But, the only way out is through. So I just need like maybe 1 or 2 things that get me started, and then I can go. But So it's been very helpful. But we wanted to do this together too, because we're changing things up a little bit, and I so honor you, Tapata-san, Kalimba-san. You are so very helpful all of the time, and the love that you express is just always present. And part of my excitement and joy to do this is not only because of that, I get to sit here and do this together with you, but also because this started as, I think, an outgrowth of one of our teachings, embracing the creator self. It wasn't actually, I don't think it was actually said that way, but it was embracing the creator self. Then some things happened, and now we're doing ascension journals. And I kept feeling like there was a connection. And for me, it really is there, you know. And so embracing the creator self is embracing the true heart. Now, separation is not part of that. So
yeah, no, I think
that's why I wanted to do this, because
really well indeed in that way, because
Yeah.
then if that awareness is there, that creator self is always around and within you, then that connection is way more present, which will overcome the illusion of separation.
yeah, and experience is important, because as you said that, I just said, well, this embracing the creator self is so important to me, and with the connection with these ascension journals, if I feel separate, I'm going to remember that, you know. And I was just going to go to my heart. I really love being in service to others. That's it. I said in one of my journals that, you know, it really floats my boat. And I want to be the best ascension student that I possibly can. And then on the other hand, there's, like, I was thinking earlier when we were talking about doing this, I said, I put myself out there, and I know there are a lot of beautiful Imzaia and people that I've known over the years who think that I've got it all together. And I'm a steward for everything ascension with Imzaia or whatever, because I share on social media and that type of thing. But yet this runs. So we're all doing this, walking each other home. So I'm honored to share this. And just by sharing it, it feels lighthearted.
Yeah,
There's
true.
no emotion around it at all.
No,
So-
because we're doing what we want to do,
Yeah.
and that is what is bringing all of these active ingredients back to life.
Yeah. And one of the, we have some ascension teachings on the active ingredients. We haven't gotten through all of them yet, but the first active ingredient is Da, which is the metaphysical expression for love. And it really is, it may seem, I don't have the word, but sort of like a way, you know, like there's so much talk about, it's all about, it's love, 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 love. I mean, everybody's talking about love. There's nobody not talking about love, sort of, anyone who is interested in moving things forward. But we are exploring that to the extent of actually fully embracing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say I'm there 100% all of the time, but that's it. And so what this is doing for me too is, and I appreciate that we have this chance to talk together, is, you know, feeling a little bit separated, not good enough, and those things that still linger with personality and ego and mind and all of that stuff. I judge myself sometimes. Do you do that?
I think that's one of the basic programs that are also running in
I know, I thought you
everyone.
would answer that.
But I think that is indeed every time the challenge to overcome, because what is judging you? If there is only the self, then it's basically you judging you, or you judging another you, or, you know, it always comes down to the same thing. So it can be erased, because in the settings that we're stepping in now, there's just no more need for it. You know, we can just observe all of these things from a neutral perspective and have a different interaction with each other. We no longer need that protection or that fighting, or, yeah, all of that is just redundant at this point, because that is, the old settings, the personality settings, and that is not the reality that we are actually experiencing and that we're now finally starting to step into.
Yeah, so what I, you know, the other part about, like, really embracing the creator self, like, I'm really, like, I am just going to keep being with that, so that it just pours out of all my portion of my being, at least in the physical reality, and then whatever else it would pour out of in the non-physical. Because with Da and with embracing your creator self, we created this, what we're experiencing as the universe and all of that, out of love. It could not have been created otherwise. And so the journey is to walk through having forgotten all of that and then fully remember it in the full truth of what it is.
And
So
what we
that's
are.
and what we are, what we are, because this creation could not have been created without love, without Da as the first active ingredient of reality creation, or the building block of San. So I'm just like really jazzed too at the same time. And the way to move past it is like what we're doing, and doing these ascension
It's a
journals
constant
for yourself,
practice.
or however that may be, or
Overstepping all of these boundaries, no longer identifying with any of these negative aspects.
Yeah. So I would judge myself for like, maybe I should do more, you know, I don't do enough. I should do more journals. I should do this. I should do that.
No,
You know,
because I think you
it's
still
different.
find yourself in a mental space. I think if we really are able to contain our energy in the now moment, that these expressions will come different. There will no longer be any mental input, and there will just be more of an expression of the self as a constant.
And of the heart.
Yeah.
That comes from all of those quotes. All of us will be living them, and I often do. They're always, you know, sometimes they just, I shared that everything. There was a day where things were just pouring out of me, like even just reading, you know, just pouring out of me, and I could feel that. And it's interesting. I was sharing earlier with the Padasan that I separated myself into two beings, which was kind of helpful getting through things in the body's early lifetime. But because there was this constant back and forth, but it's sort of like a schism between being intellectual or mental or intelligent, and also being a very strong feeler. So I'm choosing this process to merge those together, and that they will be beneficiary all together as a whole package of who Amber Adams is, as a being on the ascension path, you know, without separation and ego, mind, and personality, always running. Not doesn't always run the show, but running enough of the show that we're doing this in order to change that, and I'm very honored to do that.
Yeah, that's indeed the journey that we're on together, and I'm happy that we found this way now to share that with everyone. So that everyone can see what is happening here, what we're doing, and also what is possible. You know, that we really have the ability to create a whole different reality together, have a whole different experience. And we are given all the tools and all the teachings here to do so. So yeah, all what we have to do is just do it.
So just apply it.
Yeah.
And imagine where we can go beyond those things that hold us back at this level of our experience and training.
Yeah, I think
Where
that is
there's
indeed
so
the
much
next
more.
step.
The next step that I'm
Yeah.
sure Sen and Life will share about,
what
some of
is
which
it
they've
now?
shared that we have an inkling of. I mean, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, what do we actually want to create? What do we want to experience? What do we want to express? That is now the next part that we're going to step into.
It has been said that ascended life in direct tuition, I mean, they don't deal with personality. I mean, there is a level of being responsible as an ascension student to deal with that and get that out of the way so that you can have amazing conversations and tuition that we're just dreaming of right now. That's my commitment. I know that's your commitment too.
I think that's a nice note to end this conversation.
I
with.
do too.
Thank you very much for the talk.
Thank you for the talk.
And will be continued.
Sanike.
Sanike.
Welcome to Ascension Road.
Sanake. A beautiful day to you all. I'm sitting here with the grey sun. We're on a morning walk in our beautiful grounds, or the beautiful lands of Zeelandic Flanders, and we were sitting here at the edge of the Westerschelde, the river that leads into the North Sea over there. So, and we were just thinking, oh, what an awesome experience we're having, what an awesome opportunity we all have to be here as students and well, basically learn with Ascended Life under the guidance of the Julianadorp San. And I was just saying to the Grey Sun earlier how much just Imzaia, the expression, love expressed, means to me. It is something that was in the teachings. At some point it was explained that was the word when we first entered this Equaya, that we would and manifest it as a body that we would come in as Imzaia. Yes. And so it is so because that is one of the words that was spoken about early on in the teachings also, and it is something because yes, it means love expressed, but it really also touched me. It struck a chord in on my heartstrings that it really resonated deeply with me, and the whole all of the work, the Imzaia work. The first time I heard the 12 in a teaching, that was really it. All my search that I had been doing for all of my life, I felt that this was where I belonged. This is what I had been looking for all the time. So Imzaia means
like a coming home. For me, it was the first time when I listened. It was like I felt coming home.
Yeah.
If that's an expression that people feel.
Yeah, exactly. That was the feeling of finally having found actually what you were looking for, even though I didn't know what I was looking for, and I didn't know, I couldn't have known what it meant to be Imzaia, to be with Imzaia, to live Imzaia. I had no clue. I just felt this was my starting point. This was where this was where
the journey started.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes. Because we all had questions, especially about this reality.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get it at all.
Who did?
Yes, who did?
Yeah, it was true.
And it's actually all how to say it. It's all about perspective. Ascended Life, all the teachings, they give you another perspective on life of what it means and what it entails. It's not about.
I think the biggest thing for me was that I started to realize at some point that how conditional everything was, that all the people around me, that it was all built on conditions, and that just didn't feel right at all. So finding that's funny. I say I found the work. Of course I didn't. I mean, that was the whole point. But really finding it again and starting to understand. Learning about illusions basically, because that I didn't get that, but once I heard the first time I heard of what back then was Weave Your World with Imzaia work, and the Yeshua San was in the body at that point. That was shortly before the MGI, the Mastering the Grand Illusions. And then they were speaking about the grand illusions, and it suddenly started hitting me. I mean, that was the big aha moment. That was the, if you will, the Imzaia moment of okay, yes, so now I understand that. Now what?
Yes. And of course, it's also different, the study of vibrations or the study of the power.
Yeah.
It's a whole other concept. First, you learn on all the illusions, actually, what it means to be in an illusion. That was for me the biggest trick. In the beginning, when they said it's an illusion, and I always thought, what's an illusion? But now you can see, and
yeah,
yes.
Even though it's still, I mean, we obviously, since we're not through the illusions, it's still basically on a theoretical level for us. But I think we all have a much deeper understanding of the workings of this reality that we create with every single thought and every single action, and with our senses the whole time. So yeah, Imzaia.
Imzaia.
It was a good place
Yes.
to land, I have to say. And now we're here in these amazing lands of I don't even, it's technically it's the Netherlands, but it's beautiful. It's as you can see, where we're sitting in a field of flowers and birds around us, and it's just absolutely beautiful to be here. And but also that this is the grounds where all the students are invited to come and study with Ascended Life. So I'm extremely thrilled that with what we're building here now,
Yes.
with Julianadorp San, and
especially for the platform called Imzaia. It's if people see these videos, they will have a more familiarized view on this.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's indeed. You say, of course, it's the Imzaia world. It's that is. Yeah, Imzaia is so much more. It's to learn to live in a sun-based reality, in a reality that is built up of the building blocks, of the true building blocks, rather than the illusory projection. And it's
it's fascinating, actually, when it was explained on Facebook about Ba, the inner and the outer space are the same. But it's true. Whatever you express to the outer, it's coming from the inside and the other way around. So you really create your reality in every moment.
Yeah, and so I think that there was Kara-san has a teaching. At some point, it will also be on the website about the ascended senses. It might even be there already. I'm not sure, but and he's speaking about how you can read basically your outer reality. You can read what you see because that is what you feel inside, and that's how what you express basically, because what you see out there is only what has been created within.
Yes.
So and so he said you can learn to use your senses in another way, that to read your thoughts and with what you see around you, and as such have a much better understanding on what's going on inside. So there's all of these things that it's so much, but it's lovely. And then we have the opportunity to between whatever we're doing, to take a walk together or on our own and enjoy our creation.
Yes.
So.
Oh.
You hear the stillness.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Birds and the sea.
So yes, I think I'd like to leave it at that for the moment. And I wish you all a wonderful day.
Yes. And a lot of love from all of us. Like I had.
Welcome to Ascension Road.
Imzaia, everyone. Today, the topic I choose to speak about is miracles. Quite a topic, because people out there, and many people think that without divine intervention or something extremely special needed to happen, and then you have a miracle. You have whatever people consider as a miracle. Well, I'm sorry to say, but that's not true. We have been told that we create our own reality, and people are practicing more and more this fact, and of course things happen that seems to be out of the norm. These are not miracles, are just here to show us what is the normal way, what we should be experiencing all the time, because the metaphysical is never separate from the physical. So it's just because we are out of practice, I guess. I'm just going to give you an example. I woke up in the morning with like an extremely painful problem in the lower back, creating a pain that was absolutely difficult to hold, let's say. So I spent the day on a chair listening to Ascended Life that were actually here teaching us, and at the end of the night, still really affected with it, sitting on the chair and not being able to move at all. The night started to be a little bit different, with people dancing. We were listening to music, which is always fascinating with Ascended Life, because we understand the layer of lyrics of songs, and that was happening. So at some point, this, what people will consider a miracle, happened. I just sitting in my chair with this enormous pain in my back, and I thought, oh, I would so love to dance. Well, it just happened without me at all even aware of what was in between me dancing and me on the chair. It happened like, it's very interesting, difficult to explain again. It is, I had no recollection at all from standing out of the chair I was sitting on and finding myself dancing with absolutely no pain in my back. Oh, so I look everywhere, look around, And of course I was smiling, but I was like so surprised. And it made me so happy. And the only thing I could say while dancing was, whoa, that's really good. So, what I always wonder, in a way, because there are still things in my body that I would like to get rid of it, like this. Oop, go dance. And it doesn't happen this way all the time to me either. So, my question is, did I needed Oyadasanka, Adam's very son? He was in the room, of course, looking at me. Or was it an unconscious way? What happened really? I remember thinking, oh, I'd like to dance. And then reality shifted totally. I was dancing. So, that's what I wanted to share, basically. But I think I will speak about it a little bit more today, not to make it too long, but also to be more accurate about what I want to share about it. And miracles are really cool. I would like to practice more and show you how to do that as well. I mean, there are so many people with so many problems. If we could just dance, would that be good? I think so. Enjoy your miracles. Sanake.
Welcome to Ascension